What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to get Moonshine set up for the Christmas tree race. But first, new merch. We got If You Ain't Bending, You Ain't Sending shirt live on baldeagle.com. All right, everybody. We are back at the shop. Got the short block sitting here. So we'll go over this a little bit before I start tearing everything off of that motor and swapping it over to this motor. I already did take the front cover off and the oil pump. So we got to get the camshaft out of there. And the timing set out and the lifters out. I just left them in there so that I can put them all in the same spot on the camshaft because they already rode on that camshaft. So this combo here, stock L83 block. We've got diamond pistons in it that they sent over. We have, let me roll this thing over a little bit. We've got a factory GM LT1 forged crankshaft in it. I've seen some people making some pretty big power on this. I was going to do a little bit different crankshaft, but I have a thing where I don't want to build an over square motor, so we're keeping this one for now. Manley came on board with a set of their billet I-beam rods, pretty stout pieces. I've heard of people making upwards of 1,800 on those, so we're gonna push them. You guys know I ain't scared to make some boost. That thing will tell that story, so we're gonna go as fast as we possibly can with this thing. Muscle Machining went ahead and put the short block together, did all the machine work for me, came out flawlessly. So I'm super stoked to get this thing back together. We don't have the heads yet. I've been kind of waiting until they got here so I'll talk about it, but I'll just go ahead and put it out there anyways, because by the time you see this video, they'll already be on there. So we're getting a set of Frankenstein CNC ported L83 heads. They came on board and said, hey bro, we want to see this thing go faster. So they went ahead and did their port program on the heads. Super pumped about that. I'm glad to have them in our corner. So those will be here next week, hopefully. Talking to JR, he said we should have these to you by the end of next week. So I'm gonna get the short block ready to go. And then when the heads get here, we'll slap them on. All right, she's ready to go. Just waiting on heads. Got everything swapped over. So the only thing left to do is put the heads on, torque them down, put the intake manifold on, drop it in the car. Actually, we'll probably put the heads on, torque them down, and then drop it in the car, then put the intake on. But it is ready to go. Got everything swapped over. Even got us a fancy new dipstick. We didn't have one of those before. It was kind of just an old truck one that we pinched off. But she's ready to go. So we'll be out there making boost in no time. So we'll pick this back up when those Frankenstein heads get here. And then we'll get this thing set in the car. Hey buddy, I got you a present. I got you a present. Not only did I bring you a McFlurry.
This bump stick?
Is that one of them 3/4 cans?
This is, yeah, it's one of them 3/4 race cans. You gotta take it out.
Okay, let me hold up my McFlurry so you don't drop that thing.
This is for the blower version of the Blazer.
Oh!
Take the cam out and look at the back of it.
The only thing used to having a stick like that.
Don't even tell me this thing is custom right here. Oh, dude!
Let's see.
Big Buenos Dias, dude. That is sick. That is sick, dude.
Gotta get that Blazer right, boy. Come on.
Dude, let me see what this unit's all about.
I don't know what you did with the card. Oh, there it is. Let's see what we got here.
This is big.
I forget.
Big Buenos Dias.
Buenos Dias. So it's a 238, 252 on a 113 plus 4. So she should sound pretty rowdy.
She's gonna sound like a monster.
Yeah. Make all the power.
Dude, heck yeah. Ooh, that 6.0 gonna be woke up now.
All right, guys. So we're still waiting on the heads. Frankenstein's got them almost done. JR contacted me, said, hey bro, we're almost done. We'll have these out to you this week. So as soon as those get here, we can spot face the plugs and put them back in the car. But one other thing we're doing, since we're putting bigger turbos on, I went ahead and I got an FTI dump valve to put on the transmission. So we got our input shaft changed. That's new. So we'll put the original transmission that was in the car back in the car. But what we're going to do today is we're going to show you guys how to install dump valves. This is super, super simple. Basically what that's going to allow us to do is get a few 300-400 RPM more on the stall speed. So when I'm on the trans brake, I'll be able to get up in a higher RPM faster so we can help light these bigger turbos. So basically what it does is it starts to reroute your charge pressure back into your transmission pan, artificially loosening your converter. So it'll just help us on the line spool and stuff like that. And we can use it, kind of leave it and stuff like that, and kind of bring it in, use it in other ways also. So we're going to go ahead and get that installed and show you guys how to do it. All right, first things first, we got to remove the servo cover. All right, got our bolts out, so we'll pop that off. Be careful because there could be training fluid, so just make sure you don't make a huge mess. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and put our new one on. I got our gasket on here. Used a little bit of the transmission fluid there to just lube up the O-ring, and then we'll just pop it right on. All right, she's all bolted down. So now we can move on to doing our return to the pan. So basically, I got this bolted up here. You can kind of see right where that hose falls. I'll get these up out of the way. Right where that hose falls is where I'm gonna put my fitting. So I gotta drill and tap the pan right in that area. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark that. And basically what it'll do is the fluid will come in. It'll get passed through here. So when this is enabled, it'll reroute it, dump it back into the pan, and cut off charge pressure to the converter. So it'll actually loosen it. All right, guys, the hole is drilled. So now we go ahead and use our 1/4-inch NPT tap to put some threads on this thing, and then we'll put our fitting in, and then we can attach this hose after we clean the pan. All right, guys, that concludes the install. Got our fitting drilled, tapped, and attached, cleaned the pan out. So the only thing basically left to do is, once it's in the car, I'll remake the hose that goes to the cooler, and this goes on there like that. So the cooler is actually going to be in the back of the car, so it'll go that way. And then we'll have another 90 or something that comes into this, and then I'll run it out there. And then all you gotta do is hook up those 2 wires. One goes to ground and one goes inside the car, which we already have it pre-wired for a dump valve. Actually, we have it pre-wired for 2 dump valves. So I just gotta hook that up and we'll be good to go. What'd you get, you a little Corvette, dude?
Oh, you know, just a little toy.
A little toy?
Yeah.
Something else for you to ruin, huh?
Yeah.
What year is it, 02?
02. 6-speed car.
Nice.
Nothing major.
What's the plans?
You know, cam headers. Probably some head work.
Some head work, put some 243s on it?
Yeah, definitely.
Hell yeah. Well, you got a good intake on it at least, so.
Yep.
Brand new alternator, looks like.
It is.
New thermostat? Come on.
Puppy runs around 14 volts, dude.
This thing's dirty.
Yeah, it is. Old man special.
You got your New Balances on?
No, I gotta get a new pair.
It's nice, though.
Yeah, it's
Maybe we'll go put a tune-up in it real quick. I'm gonna put a tune-up in it. I can't leave nothing alone. I'll go get the laptop. Alright, guys, so we finally got our cylinder heads done, ready to go. We got a set of Frankenstein CNC ported 5.3 L83 heads. So the last thing we had to do was get the DI ports welded up and kind of shaped and get everything kind of redecked and touch up the valve job and stuff like that. The other thing we did on these heads is we spot faced, whatever he calls it. Basically, these plugs on these heads have a really, really long reach. So you got to use an iridium tip plug. So what we did was modify the hole so that we can use just a regular like LS spark plug, and it'll be a little bit cheaper, and I can actually read the plug a little bit better. I like the copper core, you know, it disperses heat a little bit better than the iridium tips do. But check these things out. These things are beautiful. They did a killer job on them, and I'm really, really happy to be working with Frankenstein. I've been watching their stuff for a long time, and they were very eager to be a part of the project, so I'm super glad to have them on board. But we are going to get these things on. I want to get this motor back in the car. I want to go racing extremely bad. So the short block is together, as you've seen. So tonight I'm going to go ahead, get the heads on this motor, and we are going to set it in the car and get everything connected. Probably tonight, tomorrow, get everything ready to go and try and get it running. We got some turbo modifications we got to make because we're putting the bigger turbos on. So we got to do some exhaust stuff and some charge pipe stuff. It shouldn't be super hard at all. There's a few more things I want to get done on the car. I do have a center section from Quick Performance. They went ahead and came on board, sent us a 360 gear and a strange unit to go 1/4 mile racing. So the next race we're going to try and do is Cletus's Christmas tree race. So we're going to change the gear. I'd like to get the parachute mount on it, and hopefully we can get the wing on it. That way it'll be a little bit, more stable at high speeds. So that's the plan for tonight. So we'll bring y'all along, get these heads on. Whew, sure does look pretty. All right, heads are set on. We just got to torque them down and be good to go. Hopefully this time we don't have any issues. So you guys know, if you watched before, the other motor on the last stud, it actually pulled the threads out. So I'm gonna go maybe 5 pounds lighter on the torque sequence this time. Hopefully we don't have the same issue. Alrighty, heads are torqued down. The sheet calls for 40, 80, and 115. And I know I said I was gonna actually do a little bit lighter, but I didn't. They're all torqued to 115 foot-pounds and they all are fine. So that is a plus. A little bit of extra head torque is always good. So we'll go ahead and get the push rods in, get the rockers on, make sure everything is good and they're the right length, because these heads have been cut. They've been cut twice because we had to re-weld the DI. Well, we didn't have to re-weld them. They didn't end up getting done. So we had to weld the DI ports on these heads. So they have been decked twice. So I just got to check, make sure I have the proper lifter preload, because we have a Johnson lifter in this and they don't like a lot of preload. All right, guys. Push rods, everything is good. Everything is the right length. We've got about 25, 30 thousandths preload. So we'll go ahead and put the valve covers on and get it ready to set in the car. All right, guys, we got the motor in, we got the transmission in. Haven't really been filming, just trying to get stuff done. But motor's in, we're getting ready to try and fire it. I don't have the turbo stuff hooked up. The oil lines to these turbos aren't hooked up either, because these things are just trash. I tried to rebuild them and they're messed up. So we're just gonna fire it up with nothing on it. Oil's capped, we got fuel in it. Oil's in it, should be good to go. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Hit the ignition, let's see if she fires up.
Kill it.
We got a fuel leak. She fired right up though.
Oh shit.
You all right there, bud? What are you doing, dude?
Oh, my eyes are on fire.
It was running for a half a second. All right, we got a fuel leak. We're gonna have to fix that. Turn the ignition on again. Oh yeah. Well, that's weird. All right, kill it. It's leaking right out of the filter. Turn it on again. Start it. What we got for oil pressure?
70 pounds.
That's good. All right, guys, the other thing we're going to do is we're going to change out our center section. We're going to go to a 360 gear that says a 410 in it now, but we are going to go quarter-mile racing. So we're going to go ahead and put the center section we got from Quick Performance. They hooked us up. They got us a diff out with all the good parts in it. It's a strange center section, so I'll go ahead and show you guys that unit. All right, guys, this is the unit. Quick Performance hooked it up. They decided they wanted to come on board, sponsor the channel. So I originally just called them wanting a gear, just to swap the gear in the center section we have, and they're like, "Hey, bro, let's get you a good unit in there." So they went ahead and made us this unit, and I'm super pumped to be working with them. They're awesome over there. We've got, as you guys know, the whole rear end in the car is from them. So it's their housing, their axles, now their center section, which the center that was in there I had bought from them a long time ago, which I had in my truck. So super excited to be, paired up with them and being able to run their products. And yeah, just go over and check them out, quickperformance.com. I'll go ahead and leave a link down in the description. You guys can check out their site. All right, guys, got the strange center set in. Just got to slide the axles in, get it bolted down, and then we'll be ready to go, fill it up, and set her back down, get the drive shaft in, and all that good stuff. Everything's good to go. Everything's tight. Only issue that we have right now is that this center section is a ½ an inch longer than the other one. So I'm gonna have to get the drive shaft shortened just a little bit. It doesn't have enough play in it to make it work. I tried, and I don't want it to jam. If it goes into full extension or something like that, suspension's, you know, fully extended going down the track, I don't want it jamming into the transmission. So just gonna run the drive shaft down to our local place, have them shorten it 1/2 inch, and we'll slam that thing in there. We went ahead, picked up a Christmas tree. We got, in the rules, it says it has to be an 8-foot lit Christmas tree. So I got one in the back of the truck. I found the skinniest, lightest tree I could possibly find. So we're gonna get this thing mounted up to the car. Old Bobby gonna help me out. But this thing's like super light, like a couple fingers pick it up. And it's like super, super skinny. But it is 8 foot. We were gonna put a fake tree on there, but the only one I could find was like $400, and I was not about to put a $400 fake tree on this car. So that's the plan for tonight. Get it ready, and then we're gonna take it over to TJ's and get a couple things buttoned up. We're gonna get a parachute on it. We have to do the mid-plate mounts on it because right now it's Bluetooth, and that's just not gonna work. So other than that, it is ready to go. One more thing I forgot. We have to run the breather lines. So we're gonna run the breather lines to the back, Christmas tree up top, parachute mount, and our mid-plate mounts to the frame rails have to be done. And then it's totally ready to race. So we're gonna do all that stuff tomorrow, get that done. You guys will see that. And yeah, we'll get out there and make some passes. I'm hoping this thing will go, I think, what do you think before? Probably would've went 780s, 770s if I was able to run it out the back. So I'm hoping it'll at least do that.
It'll do that plus some.
Yeah, we'll try to go for that and see if we can make it happen. But that's enough talking. Let's get to it. All right, so we went ahead and bought some net lights. So our plan was to just like wrap it up like a torpedo and make it super aerodynamic. But we have to make sure that they work with the 16 volt battery. You'll figure it out, bro. It's just some lights.
Net it up.
All right, folks. What you do is when you're trying to make a Christmas tree, race tree, you gotta put it in race mode like this, and you just wrap it up like a burrito, just like that. Get her all nice and tight like. It's gonna be a little heavy on the lights on this end. And then you just zip tie it off to finalize it. That should be aerodynamic enough.
That'll work.
Boom.
That's a nice wrap right there.
All right, so once you have your tree all wrapped in lights, make sure they all work. You just throw it on top of the car like that, and you're ready to go. All right, guys, went ahead and got our Motion Raceworks parachute lever installed. So we can just, boop. I don't have a crossbar on the roof. Otherwise, I would have put it up there, but at least this way I can still hold on to the wheel and then just like throw my hand over and hit it if I need to, just real quick, like, just, and we're good. So that's with it in high gear, low gear, it's still not in the way. So I can throw it and then click it into neutral and we'll be good to go. All right, let's see how that methanol cold start be. Right, a little air motive 10.0 action. are back at Bradenton. We got old Moonshine out here. We're gonna do a little bit of testing before Christmas tree race. So as you guys know, fresh motor in it. I've got a soft tune up in it just to get down the track. We do have a different rear gear. We got a 360 rear gear, and we went ahead and my boy TJ over Wright Metalworks hooked us up with a new parachute mount, Motion Raceworks parts. All he had to do was stick it together and make it look pretty. So everything's ready to go. I've gotten everything on the car ready to go. The tune up is loaded. I'm just gonna let it charge a little bit, get suited up, and we're gonna go make a hit.
A little weirdness in the coming out of the pipe there. Hey, that ain't bad.
Not bad at all, no. No, it's not too bad.
Considering I had low boost in it, not bad at all.
It's not far off from the 499 either.
Went 501 at 136. I only had about 12 on the dome, so we'll pull the log, see what it did, see how much boost it made, and go make another one. 120 to 60 foot, so that ain't bad. It left on a little more boost than I had commanded, but it took it so that we know now that it'll take that much boost on the leave. So with that gear change, it definitely wanted a little bit more. So we'll look over the log, see how it did.
Hey, what do you guys?
Alright guys, so the log looked good. Went ahead and added a couple pounds of dome pressure, kind of back to where we were with the stock bottom end, and I spiced up the ramp on the leave a little bit. Didn't touch the RPM, just shortened it a little bit, because if you could see it in the last pass, it kind of left and then kind of set back down, just the way I had everything set up in there, trying to be safe. That's what it did. So this one will be a little bit spicier. Hopefully it takes it. We'll get a new PB.
Methanol.
off the ground.
God damn it. I didn't know for what, so
Definitely making more power.
Oh yeah. Tons more power.
Ow.
Making power, ripping shit off of it.
Get around it.
We're gonna zip tying the parts back on and clean them off. We'll be out of here. Well, wait. That'll hold it on. Jump on that thing, sweetheart.
Looking right off the frame. Oh.
Yeah, he didn't pull over. I kept trying to tell him, hey, it's out of the car, and he just kept going and going and going and dragging it.
We're just all tearing our junk up.
Yep.
I was moving towards the wall, and I was like, please get down. And I was
That's
afraid
right, it would, and they wouldn't come
Yeah,
down.
no, I was afraid to stick it again and go into the wall, so I just knocked him down. All right, guys. Well, she's a little tweaked. What it looks like happened, though, I thought it was worse than it is. It's actually not as bad. So what happened was it hit the fuel pump, obviously, because that was too low and it shouldn't have been there in the first place, and I totally deserved that because of where I put it. But what happened was it hit that bar, or it hit the fuel pump, moved the bar back a little bit, and these came down. So what happened is it's actually kind of pinning the rack back. So it's not a super big deal. We can jack it back up, check over everything, make sure everything's structurally sound, kind of tweak everything back up, and then we'll just put some down bars, and it should be good to go. I needed down bars anyhow. We knew that, just kind of like a time thing. We didn't get it done. So it looks like we're not going to make the Christmas tree race. Unfortunately, I probably could cobble some stuff together, but the fuel pump it took a beating. All the wires are frayed, and I'm going to have to take that apart and rewire it, and hopefully it still works. If not, I'll have to pick up another one. But it just is what it is. Race car sometimes. 6 cars never tried to wheelie. We've been 116 to the 60 foot. That was a 127 on the back tire, so it might have went into the 1-teens. It shouldn't have been that hard, but with the gear change and everything, I don't know. I thought it would be good. The first pass you guys saw it, I only gave it a little bit more. I did not expect it to do that. So it is what it is. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and end it off there. As always, stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next video.